Come see me remove your glasses.
Oh.
Hello and thank you for joining the Thursday edition of Journalist Hangout. I'm Ayodele Ozubakun. Today on the program, PDP begins shopping for presidential candidates ahead of 2019 contest. Want Kwankwaso others to return. Presidential aide becomes new boss of the National Intelligence Agency. And later in the program, Professor Wole Soyinka says herdsmen have declared war on Nigeria. I'll be hanging out with Babajide Kolade Otitoju, Tony Waje, and Martins Oloja. So if you're ready, let the hangout start now. Wow. Welcome back. The People's Democratic Party has begun shopping for a credible nothing candidate to fly its flag in the 2019 general election. The party's board of trustees, Chairman Senator Walid Jobrin, says efforts are in the pipeline to recall some former members of the party and to wrest power from the All Progressive Congress at the center. But the question, who does the cap fit? This, Babajide, this is like the People's Democratic Party. For the first time, they will be finding themselves in this kind of position since 1999. It wasn't a contest as who is going to be the next president since 1999. It has always been, this is the next person appointed by, Olusegun Obasanjo was there. He was appointed by the leaders of the party, the Babangidas of this world and everything, and he became the flag bearer of PDP. And after Olusegun Obasanjo took over the machinery of the party, and in 2007, he appointed Umaru Yar'Adua. And after the demise of Yar'Adua, he was actively involved in the emergence of Jonathan, and now they're in the opposition party. For the first time since 1999, that's 16, 17 years, the PDP will be doing what we call another ultimate search to look for who to confront the All Progressive Congress. Babajide?
Yeah, it's an unfamiliar terrain for the PDP. They're really not used to this, just as you said, because they have been used to anointing the president of Nigeria.
Format.
Yeah, whoever emerged as the candidate of the PDP would always win the election.
Always so.
And win easily.
28 states.
There was no election that they contested from 1999 that the PDP didn't win easily. Often landslide victory. 2011, Jonathan defeated Buhari by landslide, So, well, this time around, the shoe is on the other foot. Now, they are desperate to find the right candidate because, whether we like it or not, there are things happening in the country now that appear to give hope to the PDP. The people who have made a habit of deceiving the president and telling him just all he wants to hear, they will never tell him that
his popularity is dropping.
They will never tell him that, Mr. President, by some of your actions, you are losing supporters.
Dropping.
There are people who supported the president who could kill for the president.
Those who were trekking from Lagos to Abuja, Lagos to Kano.
Who today don't even want you to mention Buhari near them. And that's why those of us who have supported him for many years, when some of the opportunistic fellows now around the president and opportunistic supporters of the president who now see it as fashionable to go on Facebook and proclaim their Buharism when they were nobody, when nobody knew them, when they didn't even know Buhari.
Or when they were supporting other candidates in the past
Now,
elections.
those of us who are saying, look, there are certain things that are going on that you need to change. They see us as people that they can take pot shots at. They believe that, oh, we no longer like the man. But if Buhari will sit back and look at some of what we have been saying, because it's not difficult to know someone who is truly loyal to you, or the person who tells you the truth.
Always.
Always.
No
Who tells you the
how you
truth,
feel about
no
it.
matter how you feel, is the true friend, is the true loyal friend. Not the one who wants to just make it look like you smell like roses all the time. You see, so the truth is, the PDP now appears to be even more confident now than some months back.
Honestly.
No doubt about it, because we relate with them. We are journalists. We are not politicians. We are still, no matter our preferences, we are still able to say, okay, this is what is happening. This is how people feel.
Gauge the mood.
If within your own party there are certain things happening that alienate some of your supporters, some of the people who ensure that the president won the election, it will continue to offer hope to the PDP that if we find the right candidate, we can win the next election. But what I find funny is the obsession of the PDP with certain characters. Oh, it has to be Kwankwaso, it has to be Saraki, because they keep mentioning these people. Oh, come back, come back, come back, Saraki, come back, Kwankwaso, it's your party, come back. As if those people do not return to the party, then the party is incapable of putting on a good performance. I'm not saying they win the election. I'm saying that as if without those people, they can't put up a good performance. But within their fold, they should be able to look around and say, okay, there is a certain governor somewhere in the northeast. Can't we look in the direction of this fellow? Because I saw somewhere where Obasanjo was praising Dan Kwambo to the high heavens. Was praising him to high heavens. So there must have been some
There's also a certain Sule Lamido that performed creditably well in Jigawa State.
The best governor. In fact, he turned Jigawa to a modern state. His achievements remain unparalleled, and he didn't borrow a kobo. Today, some states, when they receive their allocation, because they are heavily indebted, they first sort out...
From the source.
Yes, they first sort out those debts. Bayelsa is one of those states. Silva bequeathed a heritage of huge debt to the administration of Dixon. And Dixon didn't think that the debt that Silva gave to him or gave to the state was enough. Dixon himself now went in trying to build an airport, a cargo airport, also went and took loans. So before once the allocation comes, they'll first. That's why those governors find it difficult to pay salaries regularly. People don't understand these things. If once your allocation comes, they first sort out those debts. You will struggle to pay salary.
Irreversible standing order.
Yes, you will struggle to pay salary. Sule Lamido never took one kobo as loan. And he ran the state. The achievements that are there, the good roads and all that are left, people should stop deceiving themselves like there's not a single good person in the PDP. That is a lie from the pit of hell. Many of the people in the APC today used to be in the nucleus. In fact, a friend of mine who was gisting and he said, Jide, after the governors that we have today, only three can say that they've never been in the PDP. Out of all the governors, and you remember even the last election, 12 governors up to December 5, 2014 were still in the PDP. 12 of the current governors today. So but these are parties that have found a way to to move from this one to that one and back to this one. So,
Martin, by the time Atiku Abubakar left the All Progressive Congress, it was like it's going to be a contest between Muhammadu Buhari and Atiku Abubakar. So by the time it went to the People's Democratic Party, before that convention, it was looking very good for Atiku Abubakar. The narrative changed after the convention. And a lot of people are now looking at it and say, perhaps Atiku Abubakar might not clinch that ticket with the structure and the forces at play within the People's Democratic Party right now.
Well, you know that 24 hours in politics can make some difference. Just as you were saying before the convention, it looked like that. But they shaped the convention to work against him. They brought in some people who would work against him. And some people who were eyeing some things either from Ekiti State to Rivers State, they combined effort to frustrate certain effort. But, you know, don't write off Atiku Abubakar like that. They still have, a lot of weeks, a lot of months before the primary. And you know that he is in control of these people. I mean, he was in control of these people when they were in PDP. The people JD was talking about, these governors who keep crossing from Jordan to
the Red Sea.
To the Red Sea. You know, he knows Atiku Abubakar is a shrewd politician, very skilled politician.
Skilled.
And even, skilled. Managing people, managing intrigues, managing resources, human resources, and what have you within the context of this, whether SDP to PDP and what have you. So,
but it's never been a pushover.
You can't just push him over like that. He knows what to do, and he has the war chest. He still has the war chest, no matter what they have taken, whatever they have taken from him. But you know, my worry is that I think that it's unfortunate that we are even discussing these two political parties. You know, he was talking about disappointment with what the leader that emerged from the alliance that they formed in around 2015 that gave victory to APC. But look at what APC has been doing. What he has been talking about.
Well, Martin, I want us to stay on the People's Democratic Party, dissecting this party.
This PDP, even me, I don't like to talk about even this PDP because of the way they are behaving. At this point in time, I would have expected them to be talking. Some people are talking about the third force now. People are saying, please forget about these two political parties.
Don't you think that's belated now?
Well, no, it's not belated. If they were resourceful, that's why we are discussing this. Okay. If they were resourceful, they should be looking at some of these people who are significant. He was talking just now, and then I remembered what Rick Warren, who wrote a classic, The Purpose-Driven Life, sometimes. He gave a contrast. He said there are some people in life who are prominent but not significant. And there are people that are significant but not prominent. And so God, the Almighty, is looking for significant people. There are some people who are just prominent, even within the party system, within the leadership cycle, who are just prominent because we journalists made them to be prominent. Tony, but they are not significant.
Tony,
so they should be looking for significant people.
What Martin is saying, and what Jide said earlier, I just recall this certain Ahmed McCarthy that's passed by the People's Democratic Party and was able to conduct himself well. And if Jide, there was a time Jide told me about his track record when he was the governor of Kaduna State, and how even as a Muslim he got the majority of the Christians to vote for him in Kaduna and everything.
Christians elected
him from the southern Kaduna, and that man passed through the People's Democratic Party. And a lot of people have been saying that it's not a bad material, and the people that PDP can produce to upset the status quo.
Yeah. Of course, before, even during the convention, or prior to the convention, there was this rumor that he was was preparing for, to
the presidential.
So when he was even the governor of Kaduna State, he did his best. Everybody knows. But just as Martin said, we're talking about PDP here. Jide made an allusion about always referring to the likes of Saraki. You come back, like the BOT chairman was talking about 2 days ago, Kwankwaso. I mean, there are still good people in that party.
Significant people.
In as much
Don't you
as
think
we know,
because the command, maybe Kwankwaso has like large followership.
He has large followership.
Saraki is
He
in
has a
charge
con-
of Kogi State, Kwara State.
No, the
and
issue
these
is-
people can actually
Yeah, they can.
add to the electoral
They
value.
can. But listen, what Nigeria needs now, we're tired of these old names. Can't PDP just do something different from the old? They should change strategy. The way politics is being run yesterday is going to be different in 2019 from what I am saying here. It's not going to be like yesterday anymore. I don't know, for instance, as for me, I won't want a situation. The media, let me just make it clear, that the media made these people,
Prominent.
with the names are dropping here, we made them prominent. And there are good people in Nigeria who can take Nigeria to that place we'll be looking for, we're looking at.
Yes.
I mean, it can't be this. They've done well in their state.
always
But
be
we-
this
can we just try new people? We have them in Nigeria. We can't continue going like this. We're not making any progress. We are not making any progress. Kwankwaso is, McAfee is, of course, you saw the way he handled the party during the crisis. No issues and all that. And at the end of the day, he left. He didn't contest for, he didn't say, I want to contest for, he would have, being the interim chairman, I will contest, but he didn't do that. He did it and he left. That alone is enough for the party to say, let's try him. But we still have good people. Can we just look at it? We have a lot of people in this country.
It's 13 months, like 13 months to the next general election from the INEC, the timetable INEC gave to us.
Yes.
February 14th, February 16th is the next presidential election, 2019.
It's a year.
It's the
That's
next.
a little over a year.
They're like
13 months.
13 months.
Yes.
13 months. This is January.
Yeah.
This is January 11th.
Yes. It's almost kicking out.
So we have like 13 months to that election. Now, when you want to see how this thing will evolve and play, yesterday I was watching that report that the Independent National Electoral Commission saying that right now we have 68 political parties. My mind sunk. I was, 68 political parties. So do what
that's
now?
going to be.
They say the variety is the spice of life. The
this
more the
one,
merrier.
yeah.
But
But this one,
68.
Too many.
So
too bad.
a lot of people will still look at 2019 as a game between the People's Democratic Party and the All Progressive Congress, whether we like it or not.
Yes.
Waiting for third force, or while we're waiting for third force. So the prospects of this PDP yesterday, 2 months ago, wasn't as bright as this. Do you think Nigeria can still look at the People's Democratic Party and from what they said, their track record in 16 years, and they'll say, no, is this present administration, instead of opting for a continuity of this administration, let's go back to corruption?
It's tough. It's tough. From my interaction with people when I go,
Democratic Party, and from what they said, their track record in 16 years, and they'll say, no, is this present administration, instead of opting for a continuity of this administration, let's go back to corruption?
it's tough. It's tough. From my interaction with people when I go to the northern states, it's going to be tough. It's going to be tough to give power back to the PDP. And I'm being very, very objective. I'm being very, very objective because the people have not forgotten all that happened. Yes, with the APC, especially in some states, there is crisis. Even Katsina, there is crisis. Even
The
Katsina.
president states.
Yes, the president states there are people who are not happy with the governor and all that. In different states, they have all kinds of crises. But to say the people who ask me, I've not seen anything, I've not seen any evidence that the PDP can return to power. Maybe, we've been talking about this third force. Maybe a third force will appeal to younger people who have that voting strength that they do not realize they have.
Utilize it.
They do not realize. Young people in Nigeria don't.
I'm telling you.
During when I appeared on Your View, and they were asking me whether at the next election the baton will change. Can we kick the current people out of power. And I told them, I
the
do not see that happening.
Facebook, Twitter.
Young people
Social
would
media.
rather be posting pictures on Instagram. They would rather they would rather be involved. I mean, show interest in music, especially in Nigeria now. We've almost taken music as a religion. You know, we involved. They are extremely apolitical.
That's
Extremely. Sometimes when you even bring up political issues with people,
Turn them off. Yeah.
look, their matter, you know, if you ask a young Nigerian now, the average young Nigerian, who is the UN Secretary General,
Honestly.
he will not know. If you ask him questions about some of the big political figures in Nigeria, direct questions, I swear he will not know. Because they are just not interested.
The governor of their state.
They are just not interested
Lost
in
hope in the system.
You see, you have the power to even elect someone young to replace these old men. But you do not realize that you even have that power. People from the age of 25 to 45 constitute the majority in our country.
60% of our voting population.
Because they will say, okay, 45 youths and all that. Even in churches, it's when you cross the age of 45 that they say you have become an elder. So that's 25 to 45. If we have someone that young as president, it will be a departure. You know, but
the Macrons of this world.
Yes.
because even the Sarakis of this world, they are like 55 and all that. They've crossed. They are 50s already. But nothing says that we can't elect people in their 40s. That's the way the world is going now. They are not voting for old men anymore in the world. We are now seeing people voting from the days of the man who called us fantastically corrupt and his partner, Millie, what's his name?
Cameron.
The two of them.
Okay.
You know?
Okay, his partner, Miliband.
Miliband.
Yeah.
They were in their 40s,
Yes.
early 40s. You see, we are saying that that's a trend. That's a trend. I hope that it will one day come to Nigeria. The young Nigerian people are too disinterested in politics for my liking. You have to be interested in who governs you. And you can't do it on Facebook writing trash.
Honestly.
You have to get involved. You have to get involved in mobilizing and all that.
Martin, President Buhari emerged with 50 million votes out of, you know, a country of like 180 million. And let's say the voting strength is 70, 80 million. I'm just using old figures and everything. And you want to look at it, the number of people, even as at Lagos, as I'm telling you, the number of registered voters in Lagos today, more than 7 million people. But who decided, how many people decided the last governor of Lagos, who became the last governor of Lagos State, the present governor? It's not up to 1 million people. That everybody that partook in the whole exercise.
That's the real voting.
So when I see the activities and everything, well, thinking that, as Tony said, that 2019, hoping is going to be a departure from. Do you see anything?
Well, I hope that there will be some spirit that will get a lot of people to be angrier than we are now. To get us angry, unless you are angry with yourself, even if malaria knocks you down, unless you are angry, you say that, look, I'm tired of this thing, you won't get healed. So what I mean is that it is important to stop analyzing all these young men that he talked about, to encourage them that elections have consequences. Elections have consequences, as Obama has been telling the people, that they can be complaining about the present situation. The only power that they have to change the present situation is to go and register and get their PVC.
And vote.
And vote. And it's not by making noise in the social media, by abusing people.
When you disagree with them, they'll be right.
Fella, you know, he's been doing some things. If you go to his website, you will see how all those young boys abuse him.
Really?
People, it's not only him. When we write about certain things, you know why? They don't even understand what we are talking about.
No, they don't.
They don't appreciate it.
The issues that we,
they don't understand
whether you are Fela or whether you are Jide or whatever you are saying,
it's empty gas to them.
They don't have the power to listen. They don't have the
power
power
of
to
perception.
assimilate,
The power of perception.
The power of perception, the power to read. and even understand what they don't have they just go. If you see, even
And
what
read
we are doing
headlines.
here now, you will see a lot of them. They will just be writing in
All those
poor
are
grammar
short
and other short
sentences,
sentences and other things.
abbreviating words.
And that one. So we need to organize them. We need to appeal to them that they have the power to change the present
That's
condition.
Herculean.
That's why
That'll be Herculean.
Okay.
That's why, before Tony comes in, that's why I'm saying that, and I said it on your view, that in my view, it will take 2 cycles of elections before we begin to
Talk about
real change
Exactly.
of these young people. You know, it's too early. 2019 has come too soon for us
Must make it a task.
to see that kind of
It
change
comes to
happen.
some, but we should
be a
still
different
encourage some of them. Yeah. Go and register.
We have Uche Secondus. Somebody was talking about that name, say Secondus.
I mean, it's second. You want to play second fiddle.
Uche Secondus, the exco, they've just been sworn in November and everything. Do you see them actually galvanizing this party? Because we have to go back to the People's Democratic Party.
I'm yet to see. That's the truth. I'm yet to see how. I'm yet to see the new PDP in court since the convention. Yesterday, I listened to the publicity secretary.
Kola is making it.
And I don't understand what he's saying. I think he needs to sit down again and look at how he's going to sell the party. Yesterday's interview I watched on TV was.
Well, he has shown that it's not.
Yes.
So it's not going to be a pushover.
No. When it comes to that, no, I know him personally. He's not going to be a pushover.
You can't mess
It's not,
with
no, he can't.
Politics
No,
are
because
very long.
he
You
will-
can't
no,
mess-
he's-
you can't mess
he's-
with
he's-
him.
no,
Political
you can't joke with him.
The
But
political editor.
the issue is this: they still need to sit down. Now it's a new management, a new chairman and all the field officers. So they need. I'm yet to see to read a situation where they will sit down and prepare for the new journey, because it's not going to, as I said before, it's not going to be the old game. Yes, I want to see. Apart from the convention, they need to sit down at this point and say, this is what we want to offer Nigerians. This is what we have in stock. I'm yet to see that.
Jude, on this new ESCO, Uche Secondus.
Well, I'm yet to see anything that they are doing. The only person that I've seen really showing people that they will no longer brook any kind of insult coming from the right
other side,
APC is Kola. Kola. We did the levels together.
Yes.
He was in the press club. We will be abusing women and all that. So he's always had that streak, that stubbornness and ability to write and hurt people. With his writing.
react.
He's always had that, you know. The 3 of us.
Look at this
with
first
Remi
press
Adeoye,
release.
we were in the press club. They sent us home. What we were writing. They sent us home, chased us away from the school premises. You know, so I'm not surprised that he's writing and he's dealing with issues. Facts.
Honestly.
You know,
He gave it to Bolaji.
when you give,
He
took Bolaji to the cleaners. When a professional is given a job to do,
Honestly.
you will see the difference. And it's coming nearly every day now. It's finding something to say.
Research it.
That way is keeping PDP in the news and putting and keeping the APC on his toes.
Yes.
The way Alhaji Lai Mohammed.
The way Alhaji Lai Mohammed
just before
Alhaji
2015
Lai Mohammed
one of
was
the-
an editor's delight. Most editors, lazy editors, once
and paste.
he
Alhaji
sends
Lai
it to
Mohammed's
them,
release.
they will only change his intro and
Honestly.
they just send it. His stories are ready to be published.
Anytime.
His write-ups ready to be published.
Flawless.
Excellent English.
understand
And
the
all
job.
that. So now the PDP has found someone who can also do that, who also has background knowledge of Nigeria, you know, to respond appropriately to issues. So
Honestly.
the APC knows now that they have to sit up. They have to sit up and stop being overconfident
About
that they are
2019.
the party in power.
All right, still to come. President Buhari appoints aide as NII boss. Stay with us. We'll be right back after this breather. Journalist Hangout. Wow. If you're just joining us, this is Journalist Hangout. We're reaching you live from Television Continental here in our headquarters in Lagos, Nigeria. And uneasy, they say, lies the head that wears the crown. But in Nigeria, as it is today, some heads wear the crown without feeling uneasy because an uneasy situation enthroned them in the first place. This is the story of Ahmed Abubakar. He's a proud beneficiary of someone's misfortune. That is Nigerians were alarmed last year when the Economic and Financial Crimes Commission, EFCC, announced that some money was discovered in an apartment in Ikoyi, Lagos. Former NIA boss Ayo Oke was suspended, but it didn't take too long before the Minister of Information and Culture, Alhaji Lai Mohammed, reiterated Oke's position that the presidency was aware that the sums were kept in the safe house. That's particular Ikoyi, safe house for NIA. But the federal government did not rescind its decision to suspend Oke. Today, another person has been appointed to take Oke's job, but not from his geopolitical zone, as it happened when the Secretary of the Government of the Federation was sacked. What does this consistency mean to this administration? Jide, let's set the ball rolling here. The Ikoyi money, Professor Oshibajo's panel, FEC meeting for a day was shelved for Professor Oshibajo to submit his report to his boss when he came back, if you remember. Yeah. So, thinking that it's not going to be buried, that the outcome of the recommendation of Professor Oshibajo might be made known to Nigerians quickly. We didn't hear anything. So, Baba Chelawa was booted out. Ayoke booted out. The theory that who owns that money, did IOK actually siphon NIA's money or federal government money and actually kept it in that safe house? We don't know. Has EFCC gone after IOK to arrest him? IOK to arrest him, to charge him for actually taking that money? If he stole it, charge him to court and he should face financial crime. We don't know anything. It's covert, everything buried, osh. We have to move on. And somebody from the northern part of the country is taking, you know, is replacing Ayoke.
I think that the best that the government can do in situations like this is to be very open, very transparent. There's no reason why that report should not, the Nigerians not to know what transpired in terms of that report. Not to the point that everything will be made known.
Yes.
But at least what happened. Nigerians deserve to know how the decision was reached.
About that money?
Yes. You know, for me, when I kept saying that I did not believe that any money was missing, it was because of an interview that the Minister of Information granted Vanguard. I continue to cite that Vanguard interview.
And it has not been debunked.
There was a ridiculous person on Facebook who was attacking me that, oh, you said that no money was missing. I said, if you were watching without a hands-free in your ears, you will have heard that I was responding to what the minister said. It wasn't my own position. We are far away from the scene. You understand? So if a minister says, well, that money belongs to the federal government, that there shouldn't have been any raid by the EFCC, should I not take what he said seriously? That's not the way I was trained. That's not the way I was trained. I should take whatever I say seriously. And for a long time, nothing happened. No payment was made to any whistleblower until the whistleblower engaged a lawyer, and it became an embarrassment.
To the federal government.
Then, this decision was reached and all that. On August 25 last year, when we were debating the investigation of the vice president, we said on this program that, look, Wole Oke was an appointee of the last administration. Yes. Ideally, he should have been booted out a long time ago.
And the administration took over.
But our president delays nearly everything. So he didn't take that decision on time. He left many of them in He left many appointees of the last administration in government. But we said something. We said, whenever that decision is taken, it should be someone from his geopolitical zone that would replace him, because we mirror how Nigerians feel. We do not mirror we do not mirror how a segment of a sycophantic Nigerian population feels. We mirror what majority of Nigerians feel. That to unite our country, we must create a situation in which everyone feels that
sense of belonging.
And we said, pick someone from that geopolitical zone. That way, people will not feel that, oh, what is happening again? The security apparatus of the country, like 98% in the hands of a section of the country.
So people will even argue that 100%.
No, when you have the chief of naval staff and you can't say that.
Yes.
Okay, you can't say that. As long as we have those ones, you can't say that. Now, but that's where it ends.
Yes.
Look, this thing has gotten to the point that the president, if he has feedback mechanism, even in northern Nigeria, there is hunger that the president's appointments are concentrated in the northeast and Katsina.
Northeast.
Northeast and Katsina. Because these are verifiable things. Now, if we still believe in the federal character principle to the point that we appoint someone to head it, Abdurrahman Oba was heading it some time ago.
The former VC of
Learning. If we still believe in it, then it has to reflect in virtually every appointment that we make. Anything short of that, people will be saying all kinds of things about the president that he doesn't like a segment of the country. I was reading my friend Tunde Oladunjoye. You can't say Tunde Oladunjoye is not a Buharist. He's a Buharist. He's a Buhari diehard. He's an Amosun diehard. But he too was complaining today on Facebook that he wasn't expecting that this appointment will still go to the north. I mean, that is why I've been saying that when I condemn some of the people working with the president, this is the reason. No doubt about it, a lot of these decisions are influenced by these people. So shouldn't they be giving the president the right advice? That, Mr. President, let us not do this. If we do this, this is the message that it will send across.
Are you sure you will listen? That's another...
That's a different kettle of
fish. Martin, looking at it now, just a brief comment. We have to be brisk about this. On the appointment of a new NIA boss, not from the same geopolitical zone of the last administration. Will you say the permutation has changed? Goodluck Jonathan was from the south-south, and the person that headed NIA was from southwest. Now we have a president from the north, and also the head of NIA from the north. But people are gauging it through the security apparatchik.
You know that he used one word, feedback mechanism. This is a democracy. And it is not for any trite reason. We can't be so brief like that. It's not for any trite reason that federal character issue since 1979 has been in our constitution for national unity. You know, and people have been complaining to the extent that the day the Punch newspaper wrote an editorial on parochial appointments was the day they made more parochial appointments, especially in the education sector. These are on records. Just said something now. You know, when they are solving the problems of even Benue and all these Fulani herdsmen, and they say Security and Defense Council are going to meet, it will be only national, it will be Chief of Defense Staff and Chief of Naval Staff, for instance, that will be Chief of Defense Staff is not in the National Security Act 2004 as part of the people to be confirmed by the National Assembly. It's not a service chief. It's coordinating them. So they just exclude, because it's not a significant... he
doesn't have troops.
He doesn't have troops.
It's not like
the Chief of Naval Staff, yes, is there. But apart from that, when you talk about Chief of Army Staff, Chief of Air Staff, the Defense Minister, National Security Advisor, and even Minister of Interior, Inspector General of Police, and all of them. The people are very worried about all these things. So this is insensitive in the first instance to the feelings of the people, perception of the people about parochial appointment, about tribalism, about nepotism in a democracy. I once wrote in one of my column articles that even the Federal Character Commission in this dispensation has been without federal character because both the chairman and the secretary have been from the same zone. And that is, it never happened in the history of Federal Character Commission. So this is very important.
That's a first.
I'm telling you first.
Tony, your take on this?
I think that that appointment is insensitive.
My take on this is I can't deviate from what has been said so far because from the feelings of Nigerians since this appointment was made, it's not a good appointment made. And I would have expected at this point, I know it's been done, but there are certain things that can be undone. I mean, I don't want to say it again.
Future appointments you can do.
Future appointments you can do. But it's mistake. Okay, let's say can be avoided. We can't.
You can't go back
we cannot predict.
You can't go back now and say no.
It's so sad.
There is make things worse. But it's also an appointment at this.
It's sad. We can't go back. It's sad, but it's painful. But I just pray it's taking a lesson from this.
Mr. President, before perception becomes reality.
It's almost reality now.
Change your style.
I hope so.
Professor Wole Soyinka is a man of many words, but only speaks when it is fitting. With the escalation of herdsmen attacks in the country, the Nobel laureate says herdsmen have declared war on Nigeria. In a subtle condemnation, he wants the federal government to take the issues seriously and not what the Inspector General of Police calls communal clashes. Will the federal government become more proactive tomorrow? People were buried today in Benue State. Tony, let me start from you.
Will the federal government become more proactive tomorrow? And I'm asking, has anything changed? You want to make federal government become proactive tomorrow? Is anything changing now? Because something has to change that will give you hope that based on, that something will happen based on what the change in strategy. Maybe a cabinet reshuffle, a change in security apparatchik, things will change. But from where I'm sitting right now, I don't see anything happening. Professor Wole Soyinka spoke. Yes, I'm so happy he spoke the minds of Nigeria. Right now, everybody is feeling this. We're on the same level because you can't sit in a country where people are being slaughtered every day. And this is the time for prominent Nigerians who are not even in political circle. We're tired of hearing politicians. Prominent Nigerians outside politics to step forward and speak for the disadvantaged Nigerians. They should step forward and speak for the betterment of this country. Speak against what is going on in Benue State today. Benue State and other parts of Nigeria. It's not only Benue. But unfortunately, Benue has been in the news for a while now. People have been slaughtered every day. The worst hit. So Nigerians we must hold the bull by the hand right now. People must step forward. Soyinka is somebody he doesn't speak anyhow. It takes his time. So when he spoke 2 days ago, I was happy. I'm happy till now because I know people who will want to take a cue from him. I think we now. This is time for him to
of silence.
It's time. It's time. People must speak. This thing has to stop. It has to stop. These are people who knows nothing. They're not even involved in this. I mean, so.
Martin, a lot of people will even challenge Mr. President and his friend, and a lot of people are even saying Pastor Tunde Bakare, the likes of Pastor Tunde Bakare, and people that have been keeping quiet on this particular dastardly act. Professor Soyinka actually said, you are making the mistake that Jonathan made.
Yes.
I should not, that's,
Boko Haram.
Yes.
It's becoming...
The underrated Boko Haram, you see, there's so many mistakes that they are making, and Jude has been talking about so many of these mistakes, even on Monday, on this same program. I think the point was well made when even the Inspector General of Police was just...
Let me just take my first caller. Yeah. We've not been able to allow our callers to give us feedback. It has been very, very, hot in here. Wale is calling us from Lagos State. Many thanks for hanging out with us, Wale.
Thank you. Good evening.
Good evening, Wale.
Hello, good evening.
Go ahead with your contribution, please.
Thank you very much.
While you are listening to yourself, and your monitor is very close by you, you can just step out away from your monitor and talk.
You are the journalist Hangout there. You guys.
Wale, I don't have the luxury of this time.
Okay. You know, I was saying that, you know, what the Inspector General was saying about just communal clashes. You know, this is still a consequence, as people will say, because perception management is very difficult in a very complex diversity that we are managing. Managing perception, so many nations within the nation, and different people. Even
the presidential spokesman came out yesterday to actually say it's not fair. It won't be fair for you to say because the president is a Fulani man. That's why it's, it's not fair.
But that he himself
that's been the narrative
misreads the power of perception. Because
I think they are getting it now.
We now say in their cloakrooms and everywhere, pepper soup joints, that it is because of the last discussion point we had here that when these people gather now, who can really advise the president from another part of the country who can tell him the truth? The people in the diversity that we manage and the public service that I have covered for so many years, this is what I have seen. You see different people, security, intelligence, and others, when they meet with the president can always rely on the advice of some people from other parts of the country.
Okay, let me pick this call. Let me pick this call from the United Kingdom. I think Gazama is calling us from London.
Yes. Good evening.
Thank you for joining us, Gazama.
Panelists. Yeah. So I just want to make a few contributions based on experience. And, I'm from Borno as well. So this issue will center around people that are with Mr. President. And Mr. President knows that. Yes. He knows me, I know him, and what is between me and him is truth. He should come out, man up as a commander-in-chief, and address these people, whoever they are, to free himself from Nigeria. If not, I am seeing a president who can be defeated easily by any candidate of any party because of his silence. He should rise up, look at Nigeria as he is the father, and ignore this is some of the bigots that are here that believe Nigeria belongs to them. No, Mr. President as a person got this country in his mind, but those around him doesn't share his belief. He should either serve them or risk 2019, he will go home. That is it, because youth of this country should rise up. I'm from Borno. They should rise up and say enough is enough to all these politicians.
Thank you, Gazama. Thank you. Just let's make it.
Yeah, you know what he is saying. Just a quick reaction to that. Mr. President too should know that nobody elected those around him. He was the one that was elected as president and commander-in-chief, and he should take charge. He is the one to take responsibility for his action, for whatever happens. And that is very, very important in this connection.
Babajide, this Fulani thing has been a running story, and we've been on it Monday or so. We've just been on it on Journalist Hangout. On Monday, we actually dedicated, we wanted to discuss two topics. We just dedicated the whole 1 hour. It was on Monday.
Oh, yes, yeah.
And in Borno State, in Benue State today, most of those cops, they brought them for burial and everything. Emotional moment, terrible moment.
Terrible. Also burying.
It's a terrible thing. And moving forward now, you know, in terms of communication and in terms of, I think Mr. President will do more than just sending Femi Adesina or Shehu Garba to come and talk to Nigerians to, you know. I think a lot of people are saying, why can't Mr. President step up and go to Benue State? And
no, you know, we've always said that human life appears not to mean anything in Nigeria anymore. That's why Normally, elsewhere, if 70 people get killed,
70.
it can lead to the fall of a government.
In France.
You can
Hey,
imagine
how many
maybe
people
in
died?
France.
Eh.
How many people died the other day that they were holding each other's hands? World leaders went
And we're
there.
changing our DP.
And
We're changing
ridiculous
it on
Nigerians
Facebook.
were changing their DP.
On Facebook.
When people get killed
In
Nigeria,
Borno, everybody
nobody
you
changes.
don't change your DP. You don't solidarize with
Inferiority
them.
complex.
You mock the army. You mock the Nigerian army.
yeah.
You don't even show respect to them. But you could afford to do that for foreigners. So the truth is, the president, whether we like it or not, he has a decision to take. The decision is, I said it, was it yesterday or the day before yesterday? I said, if he sacks even 3 persons around him, there will be sanity.
Signal.
There will be sanity, there will be stability in our country. Because, you see, you cannot, when I continue to say, okay, these are the people causing all these problems, I can't sit here and watch someone put a PDP man,
Jide,
put a PDP man.
let me attend to Farouk. I'll come back to you. Sorry for breaking your thought. Farouk is calling us from Sokoto.
Good evening.
Good evening, Farouk. Please quickly make your contribution.
I want to talk about the Benue killings.
Okay.
What is happening in Benue? I think, Mr. President, this is the right time for him to stand up and give the appropriate directives for the security agencies so that they will tackle this issue of herdsmen in Benue. And also so that he should do all the appropriate things, because election is coming in 2019. So if he don't step up to his game, I think everything will just go wrong for him. Thank you. That's my contribution.
Thank you, Farouk. Jide?
And I'm happy that
People from the north.
the president's traditional base, people are calling to tell him that this is the right thing to do, which means that what the psychophants everywhere on social media and everywhere who have made an industry out of deceiving the president, what they are doing does not matter at this time. He should listen to those ordinary people on the streets. Yes. Those people who brave all odds just to make sure that they elect him again and again and again. Those are people that you should listen to. I'm happy that we are getting them to speak. Now, the thing is, the killings have gone on for far too long. This is the time for the president to do something. When I talk about those aides, it's because I see what they do. I see their friends that they bring into the administration. It's the height of selfishness. When you pick someone who is a card-carrying member of the PDP, who has no plan to defect to your party, you pick him and you put him on the board. You put in what that list, that funny list that came out the other day. You put him, a card-carrying strong member of the PDP, you put him on the board because both of you are from Bama and you want me to keep quiet that as if these things are not happening. Sure is it the president that puts that person on the list? It's not the one. A lot of the embarrassment that we see is these guys. It's because these guys can't even rein in their selfishness that these things are happening. So you can't, it's not for everything that will blame the president. The president has appointed people to help him. If they cannot help him, if they will multiply the problems of the president, then they do not deserve to work with him. There are hundreds of Nigerians who will do a better job than the selfish people around the president, who are, by their actions, demarketing the president. And the president doesn't appear to know that. I said it some time ago that this president, when he was head of state, military head of state, some people working with him, close to him, were working hard to ensure that they kicked him out of that position. He said it with his own mouth in an interview with the news. I see out the facts. I'm seeing history about to repeat itself. But it's not too late for the president. Kick away these selfish individuals who are around you, who do not want you to succeed. As far as they are concerned, it's all about them. Your wife talked about them. Even Nasir El-Rufai talked about some of them. Yes. So it's not just Jide that is saying it. This is reality.
Yes. Tony, reaching wrong cost.
Yeah, my issue is this. I keep, it bothers me a lot in this country that we wait most times, or like all the time, the head of security agencies waits for the directive of the president to do what they are appointed to do. For instance, if I appoint a managing director of my company, I do not You don't expect to give him directives on what
It's
to
not
do.
when the,
for everything.
it's not when the president says
we ought to have
IG
stopped
go
this
to relocate
before
to
now.
Benue State.
If you have nipped, I watched the IG in Benue yesterday. I mean, you don't need the president to do what he should do. That is hot and it's painful. And when this one dies down, we'll go back to our bedroom. And it happens again. That is not how Nigeria is going to be.
That is a reflection of the quality of the people the president himself has appointed in the first instance. And so he needs to look at the quality of people around him, whether in the cabinet or in agencies, promising to
we have reaching 4 years.
Action. He cannot be better than the people around him. And he should be better than the people around him, and he should surround himself with good people, honest people, bold people,
do their job,
who will tell him the truth. Because you can keep the truth in the grave.
Thank you.
It will come out.
I want to thank you, Tony Waje. Happy New Year to you. I'm just saying you. Happy New Year. Just saying you. And Babajide Kola. No, I'm not going to tell you. We see every day.
It's just for the camera.
Okay. Well, the bottom line is that you can watch the repeat broadcast tomorrow, and this is the end of Journalist Hangout. You can watch the repeat broadcast by 11 p.m. A lot of people will say they want to watch this, and you can also watch it on all our other platforms that's showing on the screen right now. So, thank you for joining us. I'm Ayodele Ozugbakun. God bless Nigeria. Thank you.